Alrighty guys, so this is something super duper cool that I know you're all gonna love. So these are the iFootage spider crabs. Weird name, I know, but they're basically this universal tension arm, and they have quite a few tricks up their sleeves. How's it going, guys? My name is Andrew Murphy from Down Under in Gold Coast, Australia. So iFootage actually recently reached out to me to see if I wanted to check out this new spider crab system that they're, I guess, releasing. And since I use tension arms all the time for my camera setups and my rigging, I figured I would actually just give them a go. And I'll be honest, these tension arms have a ton of features that I was not expecting them to have. So I'll try to show off, like, I guess as much detail as I can what these tension arms can actually do. So straight up, the main thing that actually separates, I guess, the spider crab tension arms from any other tension arm on the market is this little like quick release click and lock system to quickly detach and attach stuff on the fly. So for example, this I guess is like a little mini tension arm, and basically you just have a 1/4 inch thread on each side. Sometimes you have this little like locking pin and stuff, but essentially, like, if you loosen it, everything is attached to the one thing. Whereas again, when we move back to the spider crab system, we can do the same thing. We can unlock it and we can move it around, but then both ends have this click and lock system, so we can remove the accessory or take it off the camera or the rig super duper quick. And if you've ever used one of these standard tension arms, you know how much of a pain it is. Obviously, like, once you mount it, it's fine, but if you suddenly want to remove something off your rig quickly, it's definitely a pain. Sometimes if you like mount stuff in weird spots or really cramped areas, trying to like unscrew this can be a freaking nightmare. Now with the spider crab arms, this simple click and lock system means that it's basically super easy to attach this little mini head to all your accessories. And then actually mounting the mini head or your accessory to the arm is literally as simple as that. Like, that's done. So let's just talk about this little mini head first, because this thing has so many features packed in. So the number one thing that I love is that it has these little locating pins, and they're actually like, they auto sync as well. So if you have accessories that need or can use locating pins, it makes it so easy to attach it. And what they do is they basically hold this in place, so when you're screwing it down or tightening, it just doesn't swivel around like it does on a lot of things without locating pins. And then to actually tighten everything down, you literally just flick up this little handle here and you can adjust it. Like, it's so easy to tighten things down. The other cool thing is that it has both a 3/8 and a 1/4 inch thread on it, and basically again it auto syncs in there depending on what you're trying to mount it to. So if you have a 1/4 inch thread, it'll just, as you push it on, it'll sink in and it will screw on the 1/4 inch thread. If you have a 3/8, it'll just screw on the 3/8. And if we actually look in here, there's some pins in here as well to basically stop this from spinning in here, but also this little handle will actually recess into the arm, again to stop it from actually twisting around. But the cool thing as well is that, say if you mount this and it's the wrong way, like you put a monitor on here and it's facing this way, you can just flick this handle over, spin the whole thing 180 degrees, and then mount it in there. So you can basically mount it any way possible. So once you've actually attached these mini heads to each side of whatever you're going to be connecting, then basically mounting it in the tension arm is super easy. Again, you just push it in, and then you've got this little tab here that you push down, and that locks it all in place. But now a super duper cool feature that I wish a lot of things has is that if you unlock this, it won't just fall out straight away. It's got this little safety pin that you have to press before the accessory will actually like fall out or come out. So if for some reason you did forget to push this in, or for some reason it came undone or something, you have the safety feature of that it's not just going to fall out straight away. So it's just peace of mind, I guess. Now once you've actually put everything together, it just works like a normal tension arm. So you loosen off the handle in the middle, and you can swivel both ends, and then you can swivel the actual like pivot point in the middle to whatever position you want. Now straight away, the first thing I noticed when I actually started tightening this down is how easy it is to actually tighten this handle, but still engaging the locking mechanisms on the actual ball joints on the ends. Now the major issue I've found with other brands' tension arms is to actually get it tight, you have to crank the absolute out of it to basically get it to lock in place. And sometimes, like, actually a few of my tension arms, I've actually stripped the threads and ruined the arm altogether by trying to, or having to tighten it so much that it just destroys the whole thing. But with these iFootage spider crabs, you'll be amazed at how much it actually grabs without having to put much effort in. So obviously right now it is unlocked. I can literally just like loosen it a bit more. That's kind of like not locked in almost. So like I'm not putting a lot of effort in here, and that is bloody tight on there. Like I don't have to crank it down a lot to get it to actually lock in place. And the other cool thing as well is that if you loosen it off a bit, it'll loosen the ball ends, but it won't actually disengage the teeth in the middle. So you have to actually loosen it off quite a bit to be able to disengage the actual, like, I guess, locking mechanism in the middle, which is cool because a lot of the time you just kind of want to swivel the joints on the end and not move the whole arm altogether. Now, one thing I do have to say is that obviously these are extremely chunky compared to other tension arms on the market. So if you're needing like a slimline tension arm, this probably isn't the best bet for you. But if you're wanting something that is strong and reliable and going to like last a long time, then definitely these are insanely good. Now, I've actually started using one of these more recently as my monitor mount on my C70, and that is for two reasons. So number one, it's obviously super easy to adjust, so I can just quickly loosen this off and adjust the angle and whatever to basically put it in any spot that I need. And number two is that if I want to quickly switch to a gimbal, all I have to do to take my monitor off is flick this, press the safety button, and the whole monitor comes off. Like, it's so simple. And like trying to quick release some stuff off your camera while still having that tension arm accessibility with a normal tension arm is basically impossible. Like, to take this off can sometimes take like 5 minutes if it's in a really awkward spot or you just really can't get to the accessory. Now, they also offer this crab clamp as well, which I was actually really impressed by. Basically, again, how easy it is to tighten and how good it locks onto stuff. And the cool thing as well is that unlike most, I guess, like clamps like this where you loosen it off and it comes out evenly, it actually has like a swivel system in it. So as we loosen this off, it swivels up and down, which means that it not only clamps onto obviously round poles and stuff, but you can actually clamp it onto, I guess, like flat surfaces. So we see as we kind of like adjust this out, the size of the gap and kind of like the shape that it makes is so different. And then again, by attaching a little mini head on here, we can quickly clamp this in here and quickly take it off. Like, so easy. Now, the arms that I actually have are the MA3-4 and the MA5-6, as well as the crab clamps as well. And they're honestly amazing. Like, even if you aren't a camera operator, but if, say, like you're a gaffer, because I've used these to actually like mount lights in interesting places, because like the load that these arms can actually take is pretty insane. Like, if you're mounting it directly out like this, it can take up to 2.2 kilos, which is a decent amount of weight. And then if you basically have it at a right angle like this, it can hold up to 6 kilograms, which is huge for like one of these little tension arms. So the MA Spider Crab arms, the ones that I have, come with a tension arm, 2 mini heads, and one of these little cold shoe mounts. I honestly don't really like using these little cold shoe mounts. They're just not as secure as obviously like clamping it down to like a 1/4-20 thread or a 3/8 thread. But again, if you don't have a cage for your camera and all you have is a cold shoe mount or some sort of way of mounting it to a cold shoe, then this will still do fine. Like, it will still do the job. I just prefer to mount it directly to a cage or something. Now, the big thing is obviously going to be price, and these aren't the cheapest things on the market. So at $94 US for this MA3-4 and $114 for the MA5-6. They definitely aren't the cheapest tension arms on the market. But to be honest, like, the amount of tension arms I've thrown out because I've either over tightened them and stripped the threads, or they've just kind of like lost their ability to actually like grab onto the ball head system, is like I've probably thrown out like 10 arms sort of thing. So if I just bought like one of these to start off with and just gone the right route, then it would have lasted a lot longer. Plus as well, like, if you're trying to make a tension arm system that has this quick release thing in there, like, I guess you could buy NATO rails and buy standard tension arms and stuff, but it's probably going to end up costing you more and be a bulkier system than just buying something like this in the first place. But honestly, like, these iFootage spider crabs have their place, as well as these little like normal cheap tension arms. It just depends on the kind of rigs you're building and how much like flexibility you need. Like, if you need the quick release system, then obviously this is basically one of the only options. But if you just need a ton of, you know, ways of mounting stuff really easy or mounting stuff permanently, then I probably wouldn't use these for permanent mounting things, because like they've just got so many more features that you can use, and they'll just be wasted if you're just spending the money to just hard mount something on a rig. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. And if you want to find out any more about these iFootage spider crab arms, I'll leave some links down below in the description. Otherwise, I hope you're doing amazing. Hope you stay creative and just be you. Have fun.